Hey guys, Keen here with another Astray speedrun. Today we're going to be looking at Chapter 2, and it's been a while since I've actually watched the run. Did Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 in one day, and then the next day I did Chapters 3 through 5, but that was probably 4 days ago when I ran this, so it's going to be a good look to see what we actually did to save some time. Saved a significant chunk of time at that. Almost a full minute off the run. Sub 19 definitely possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what we got. Chapter 2 is a pretty straightforward chapter. A lot of like quick movements and stuff like that. You first get introduced to double jump, which means a lot of things can be done to speed up just traversing the area. We also have these little mushroom things we get to bounce off of, but it does most of that work itself. So far so good. I've been starting to use the like long jump strat rather than the short hops, due to the fact that I think covering more ground saves more time in the long run than short hops. Short hops are good for just essentially positioning in certain instances, but for the most part you want to try to stay as low as possible and get a full distance jump each time. Things get a little trickier once you get your double jump, because I do think it's slower to double jump forward instead of long jump, but you can't really like spam your jump anymore as you could earlier. So far so good. No real mistakes. The slalom and the, or not the slalom, the hurdles in the beginning in the water section could probably be a little faster. I think this run only has one death, maybe? I'm not 100% sure if I remember it. It might be like a quick bubble death or something like that. I figured out a new strategy for bubbles. And was trying it out, but I think I messed it up. Right there, you want to try to hit that mushroom as quick as you possibly can and get up to the top. Same thing with there. Slight little mistake on positioning on that pipe. They added a new quality of life upgrade with the latest update. I think it's like 1.7. That gives you an actual bar on your second jump, which makes it a little easier to aim where you're actually jumping. I didn't notice that until I started running Chapter 2 again, and it was throwing me off a little bit, but ever since it's come into play throughout the later runs, I've actually been able to make a lot better judgment calls, I guess you would say, on just like the positioning and less hesitation, because you can actually really see where you're gonna jump. So nice little split there. We saved about 7 seconds ish, 7.3, but like 7 seconds ish. On this part, you want to just jump to the ceiling and jump on his head. You could probably save time by not doing that double jump, but you're either gonna die or you're gonna hit it. I like to throw that guy off the edge right there. Oh, there's a quick death, but not too much time lost. I like to throw that guy off the edge right there because he likes to throw like javelins close to you, and just walking lets you reach the platform a little quicker. I haven't really experimented too much with this area. I'd like to find a faster way to get through without having to pull up the pulley that far. but I haven't really timed out how high you actually need to pull it up to get through. This little skip is quite easy. You just take the clone over to the ceiling, make this jump. That's a huge time loss right there. Was a little bit short on the jump and had to like reposition very carefully so I didn't lose. I wasn't out of range of it. This is a simple skip. Basically, go to the corner. You want to pop up as far as you can to that top corner and make a double jump. You make it just high enough to be able to like clip, I guess, onto the top box and then quick double jump through to the next area. I try to get off that platform as quick as I possibly can so you don't have to wait the extra time. It was a little bit low right there. A lot of these jumps, there's I wouldn't say they're like pixel perfect, but there's a bunch of visual cues and setup involved in them. It's always the same every single time. Like basically I get onto the wall, line up, and line my cursor in a specific spot. After that, it's just timing where the second jump is, or you just make it on the first jump type deal. Definitely hit that plant. That should have like set those off, but so far not too bad. Saved about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds on that section. Without that death, probably could have saved a little more. This bubbles was a little bit sketch, but we made it through. Ooh, death at javelins as well. Not ideal. That's a huge time loss. But, you know, in my eyes, time loss is room for improvement. Basically wait for this guy to slam twice so he actually slips off. Head down, jump up. You can count like 2 seconds and then come back down. Sometimes you could be a little early and might die, so it might be just better to just wait. This part's really just about getting to that the conveyor belt as quick as possible. I've been slowly trying to hit buttons faster and faster to save just small amounts of time, as long as it's not too dangerous. Another section that can mess things up. I got lucky and was able to grab that bubble, which definitely saved some time. Now, with these bubbles, the goal is to touch as little bubbles as possible. Now, what you try to do is... There's a quick little death. What you try to do is hit this wall, skip the bubbles completely, and make it over. This is what I was trying to do. I got caught by a bubble and misjudged where I was supposed to jump next. With those guys, with the question mark, as long as the red is just on the period under the question mark, you're free to jump. So as you see, I wait until that is just there, and then you make the double jump up. The first guy's pretty easy. With this one, I like to jump forward and then jump at like a, 45-degree angle, like to the top right, so you make sure you hit his head. If you jump straight towards him, you normally bounce off his body, but if you do it correctly, it'll just death warp you on top of his head. But I think it's faster if you don't do that, because of a little animation he does, like sitting down, and then he ends up sitting down again and standing back up when you respawn. Yeah, a lot of time lost right there with those 2 deaths, especially the one at the little javelin section. This part right here is a huge time save. I need to sit down and make sure I time out when I actually pull the trigger on that jump, because if you just make it first try, time saved, you know? In this section, your goal is to make it up there, taking no damage. You take 1 hit of damage right here. He takes 3 when he rolls into you, so on easy difficulty, it's safe to just stand in front of him, let him roll through. I made a sketch jump right there. Not sure why. I could have just double jumped to it, but I was feeling a little frisky, I guess. Nothing too special here. We just wait for this guy to bang this wall 3 times and rush over to the left side. This part, you really need to watch that top wall to make sure you're on a good cycle. I knew that since it opened right there, I'd have enough time to jump him through as well as bounce straight down. Sometimes, if you're too quick, you have to wait a little bit. This guy can also be finicky on where his position is. He screwed up really bad right there and pulled the second door. And then moved in between 2 and 3, so I was pretty safe to just run back and wait for this little rock to come back at me. Normally, if I don't like the position of the guy up top, I try to, like, drag him over to some certain places to get a little safer attempt at getting the rock over there. 90% of the time I miss this guy's head. As you see, missed his head. But we didn't bonk off, we were able to just hop over. I'm not sure why I have problems jumping on the top of their heads, but sometimes I hit it all right, sometimes I don't. With this puzzle, you have to be careful. If you jump on it too early, you'll clip through it and land on the other side of it. Very weird that that happens. Wish it didn't. Wish it was just a solid object to begin with, but I guess that's just the way the game is, you know? So I normally wait there, like, a little bit longer than I probably could, just to make sure that I'm not going to clip through it. Bleeding a little time right there. Super, super slow. This is why I said there's a lot of room for improvement on Chapter 2. I'd love to find a quicker way to get through this section. Little juggling of the clone right there. Bonk on the button, hop right on his head. And then we just have this long puzzle to deal with. Finding a quicker way to do this would be nice. I go the pretty safe method, and my goal here is to always be moving and hit that button as quick as possible. Now you can make Mo halfway up here and then make the clone all the way to the top. This is the way I like to do it, just because I know I can make these jumps, start that side, and then the jumps with Mo are just simple to get up top. Now this section, I'm pretty sure I die here to some nonsense. I think I get sniped by a spike. Oh, I got bonked by that. I got bonked by the little conveyor thing, and it put me into the flower. I was wondering when I did that how I hit the flower, because it didn't make any sense. That time I hit the flower and still made it through, which was nice. If I could do that consistently, that could be a good strat. Now this was a little weird. He didn't wake up, so I didn't really know what to do here. So I just said, you know, like, I guess I'll just, you know, hover midair and do it that way. This is the first time he's never woken up while I have done that puzzle. I'd love to get this part faster. It's just not worth it to rush it. Especially since I know this wasn't a perfect run. There was no reason to like really push too hard to get through there. But if you die, you lose like 15 seconds. If you've like, you know what I mean? It's such a big time loss with that it's not really worth rushing it. Now, this boss is my least favorite boss in the game. I don't like the lasers. I don't like him throwing things. The second phase of the fight, I could care less about. It's the easiest phase ever. You just, you know, it's the same every single time. And then the third phase of the fight is just a fall. If you hold up on the stick and jump constantly, you'll make it to the platform. If you hold to the like bottom right, like, you know, just like diagonally down right and spam jumps, you'll make the second jump. And then you just hold to the top left and make that jump. It's you don't have to think about it. There's no thinking through the third phase. This first phase though has to be optimized. A key goal is making sure 2 of these turrets are next to each other on the last phase, and that you can kill them with 1 turret. Again, I hate this. I tried to get a little bit of damage on both those guys, but I don't think I did. I think I only hit 1 of them. Almost died right there. Because I was gonna jump, but I knew those guys were in the same spot, so I didn't want to mess that chance up. I hate that they don't die. If that guy would have died right there, it would have been great. Take out both those guys. Super, super nice. These guys are in the bottom corner. I'm hoping that I can get them both in one rotation. One guy is very, very low, and the other guy is at full health. And that's the issue, is that the cannon turns too fast. It's like you have to damage everyone, or... You see what I mean? Just a sliver of health, which just loses, you know, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. I can't complain though. Like I said, I don't like this fight. I'm not the best at it, but at this point I felt pretty confident that, you know, this is going to be a decent time, especially considering that I'm 2 minutes ahead of what I did before. I know I still have some time to go in this fight, but everything's been going good so far. So you delay that cannon a little bit. You want to take around like a quarter, if not close to like half health on that one. On this one, the cannon stops directly on it, so there's no downtime, and it just bleeds the rest of his health down. Now this is the section I was talking about earlier. As soon as this thing falls, it's going to go over to the right side of the wall, and I am spamming jump straight up right now. Now it's going to go over to the left side of the wall, so you have some time. You don't have to spam through the entire thing. Once it starts getting close, I hold to the bottom right and just start spamming jump again. It's probably not even that big of a time save, but a time save nonetheless. For here, we're spamming jump to the top left just to get out of here as quick as possible, and time. 47 seconds saved on the boss fight. That just means that I got a good boss fight, you know? The boss fight is massive amount of time can be saved there. It's all about just getting a good cycle, and I think there's still some RNG that goes into it, because I can't be the same pattern each time, or at least maybe I haven't noticed that it's the same pattern, but I'd like to take some time to go through Chapter 2's boss to see if you can get a consistent first phase there. A few little mistakes here and there throughout the run, couple of deaths, and besides that, it was a really solid run. I want to shoot for sub 19. I know it's possible, guaranteed. We see that I lost a decent chunk of seconds. I mean, I almost lost 5 seconds just on area 4, like 2-4. So guaranteed that I can get sub 19. I'd like to push that down as low as possible because it'll just help the overall run. But yeah, that's Chapter 2's speedrun. I hope you guys enjoyed. We stream 5 days a week on twitch.tv/itskeen. We stream Friday through Tuesday at 4 p.m. EST. We play a variety of games, and every Sunday we do Astray speedrun attempts, and try to lower those times. It'd be nice if you guys come and join us. Thank you so much, and everyone have a great day.